Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I am doing okay. A little better than I was a couple days ago. I had an old injury that I had re-injured. That happens sometimes, so I had to do some physical therapy on myself and just took a few days, not because of that, but just because I didn't really have a whole lot to talk about. But today I do. It's a subject I'm going to revisit. Um, it's concerning dual citizenship in the United States of America. Um, I had the opportunity, it's about 20 years ago now, to become a part of the Cree Nation, part of one of the Algonquin tribes in Canada, coming down into the United States. And um, I declined. I had the opportunity and still do at any time to have dual citizenship, but I am a citizen of the United States of America. This brings into mind people that have dual citizenships with another country and where do their allegiances lie. Like, for instance, if there's a rabbi in the United States of America, their policy is Israel first. Go back to Israel then, or go, if that's your home country and that's where your allegiance lie, and you cannot make up your mind where you belong, I can tell you where you belong. Israel is not our ally. And there's a lot of people that will argue that point. But I'm going to read you something. This is the mayor of deputy mayor of Jerusalem on the stripping of Palestine. This is what he said. Just a minute here. If this doesn't blow you away and you think that these creatures that say they are human above you or I, if this is okay with you, you don't deserve to even breathe, let alone be a citizen of our country. Like people like Trump and, that suck up to Israel. They are not human beings nor human animals. They are subhuman, and that is how they should be treated. That's what the deputy mayor of Jerusalem said about the Palestinian people. Is anybody else bothered by that at all? I am. It, two guys took a little baby that they adopted from the United States of America, and I'm sure it's not the only one, through the Hague Corporation, and that oversees adoptions all throughout the world. They traffic these little people. Where's the dual citizenship for that baby? A little boy. Two guys took a little boy. It's not the only one. It's just one that I reported on, you know. Yeah, that it bothers me. They are not our allies, you know. I'll read you something that that, oh, what is that cartoon with that Hill character, and he's got a son named Bobby and whatever, and um it says, "Dang, Bobby, give me that calculator. I don't care how many ovens there were. They're still our greatest ally." They spelt it ally, but you know what they mean. What? The ovens are our greatest ally, or the ones that were put in there? Yeah. There's a lot less that were put in there than what was reported. And I've had, like, I bought a series on the Holocaust that was written by Time Life magazine. They were these huge books, a set of like three, I had gotten, oh, I think I was about 13 or so. I had gotten these because I was interested in history, and it was just like, oh, I belonged to like book clubs and different things that we would have different reading material delivered, that you paid for them, and but they were these really intensive photography and stories about what was deemed the Holocaust. Did you know there was 100 million red people in the United States of America? The largest genocide on the planet to date, still. And people are like, oh, we'll go fight over somebody else's war when there's red people in our country that do not have clean drinking water to this day from the areas that they were shoved into. Yeah, all this bothers me. So, and I was studying this stuff. I didn't even know what type of nationalities or heritages I had when I was a kid. I was adopted. They told me I was full-blooded German. No, I wasn't, and I found that out from my mom's side of the family and my birth parents. I found out I had um, lineage that went back to the very people I'm talking about, that area on both sides of my family tree. So, it's disgusting. So anyway, um, I have a lot of nationalities in me, so I'm not choosing one or the other. I'm telling people there's no reason for dual citizenship in our country. How about these public officials that have dual citizenship and they reign over you? You okay with that? They have partial allegiance to you. Be interesting, and I was thinking about looking it up whether or not Trump has dual citizenship. I'm kind of thinking he might. There'd be something for somebody to look up if they wanted to, you know? But I mean, this isn't going to end um, being allies with people that think other people are subhuman. A whole people that and you're going to them too, don't get me wrong. I'm just not pointing out the Palestinians. I'm talking about how they feel about you and I, unless you want to convert. You may not be safe even if you do that, you know, whatever safety entails to each individual. I just want to make it perfectly clear. I wrote up on top of what I had shared. I'll tell you what I wrote on there in a moment. Yeah, well, if you have dual citizenship with USA and Israel, or pay allegiance to Israel over the USA, get the fuck out of here. You aren't our ally. Let's be crystal clear. You have no allies. Not in the human family, they don't. So I hope that's clear to anybody. And I'm not going to put up with this whiny fucking shit. Holocaust, this and that. Jews, this and that. I have relatives, like I said, that are Jewish. Just get the fuck out of here. If you don't know where your allegiance lie, let me help you. That's pretty clear, isn't it? Why don't you ask the red people about Holocaust in our country, not somebody else's? Because I guarantee you, A red man would pick you off the street before a Jew would. I'm said it. Yeah, I said it. Mic drop. So I'm not putting up with this shit. They can try and censor us all they want, but you will not shut me up. I'll find another way to say what I'm saying right here, and I'm going to keep saying it till everybody else in my country is saying it too. I'm not calling for any hatred. I'm calling for you to get the fuck out of our country and stay out. And I don't ever want to see a Israel flag flying next to the United States of America flag ever again, like they had our flag sandwiched between two Israel flags with the gold around our flag, indicating war against the people, like they had in the White House of Trump 4 years ago. And I have a video I made pointing that out and a link to people that you could go and see that. So, yeah, I'm not putting up with this shit. And you shouldn't either. Don't cower to these motherfuckers. You think they're righteous or something? With their blood sacrifices and the rest of their shit? Hello? Does anything register? Anything I've just said, did anything touch your heart for the rest of people in the world? Not just the ones that own the big banks? Like the feds, they're not even a part of the United States of America. They're a part of the people I'm speaking about and against. It's not any heritage. If you want to be a United States citizen, you owe your allegiance to us and us only. Period. End of story. And these mega people, they're like just ignoring the fact that Trump wants to build a new resort for him and his rich buddies over in Gaza after they totally destroy all those people. And then they don't want to talk about uh ISIS, or what is it, Hamas, uh, being developed by the Israelites in those tunnels to go in and take out just the common people in Palestine. So they set those people up with terrorist groups that they formed just to land grab that and murder. People really got to get a grip here. Trump is not your hero. He's the one over there kissing that wall with his little hammock on his head. Come on, people. Wake up. You know? If you can't stand for the Native Americans and you got some bug up somewhere of part of your body where there shouldn't be any bugs, then you're probably gonna keep with this mega bullshit, um, left, right, baloney that we live under. You know, I'll speak out against anything I feel like speaking out against. That's what it feels like to be free. You know, like I said, and I'll say it again. It has nothing to do with a person's heritage or the color of their skin or the God they praise or anything like that. It has to do with what they're willing to do to other people and why. Now, I can't prove that that was the money that was backing even the Civil War against the natives, that they even let people out of slavery to go fight a war against the red people, but that's exactly what they did. You know? And I've been standing up for the red people my entire life, to the point of even getting in trouble in like about second grade, wondering how could they discover something when people were already here, you know? So this didn't just start for me. My sense of justice, you know? Can I walk into your house and claim squatters' rights or your land? How about if I did something heinous to acquire that and called you subhuman? Are you okay with that? Because if you are, then I think all the red people in the Americas should band together. Against who? Well, let's start with the MAGA, the lovers of the hating people hating tyrants on this planet. Let's start with the people that have in their Talmud that child predation is okay. Let's start with them. I'm good with that. You're not going to shut me up about it. I was sold twice. I was injured at 2 weeks old and brought back to the orphanage and sold again by these very people I'm screaming about, not individually, as a group. They're affiliated organizations. That's why they get away with what they're doing, because they've got so many different affiliated groups, and people are really not aware of how worldwide this control has always been. Nothing has changed. Nothing will change unless we change it. And I'm calling for the abolishment of dual citizenship for everybody. Do you know how many people have native blood in them now in the Americas? If they stood up as a red people to reclaim their land. Don't be ignorant of it. There's mighty nations that have banded together. I wouldn't ignore it if I were you. That's just my thoughts. Something about my thoughts, too, they seem to get out there. People feel them even if I don't say them. They're feeling me. Huh. It's just like Doug was talking about the scriptures being twisted, and they weren't the only ones who twisted it and whatever. And I said, what's the original language? He agreed it was Greek. Yeah. I said, well, they were the ones that twisted it. And then ones after that twisted it too, but they were the ones that started the deception. I did download intensive Greek course book yesterday. I do not have the alphabet memorized, but I've got the concept of the language, that they could no way even translate with their limited language. because it's too high tech. And that's why people won't dive into it and learn what the real scriptures say before they were changed, because they're not able to. So if I ever get good at it, I'll let you know. But I do know that from my training when I was young, that that's the language we want to focus on to get the truth, not modern Greek, ancient Greek. You might want to also um, acquire one of those study guides and look into it. Maybe go online and look at Almond, AMMONU, as in Almond University, if you want to learn um, ancient Greek. That's what I'm doing with some of my spare time. There's a big orange cat out by my kitty's house. I take care of feral kitties, if some of you don't know. And last month I had one of the mama kitties had lost most her kitties. I had 3 or 4 different. I would find just like a tail or a ear. Like I just found a little part of a jawbone and an ear of a pretty calico kitty that got ate. This morning I went out there and this big orange thing from somewhere was going after one of my little white mama cats. And her babies were still back in the house, and she was trying to lure this monster away from her kids. And all the rest of my cats were up by the house. And I went out just in time to save them. And I think it was him that was munching on the baby. So that was so gross. I mentioned it like once on here, but I didn't tell you about the other ones that I was finding almost every day for a while there. It was really gross. Just, oh, I cremated them, their remains, but I had never really, I've heard of tomcats attacking babies, but I didn't ever really have to witness anything like that. But something was getting them, and I didn't know what it was, or could have even, it could be like a mink or a weasel or something small enough to get in that door of their house, but it could have been this big guy that was going to attack the mama until he saw me. And then even when I went to chase him off, he kind of stood there for a while. And I thought, oh, yeah, but finally he just left. So I've been checking periodically that he doesn't come back because, yeah, there's still some babies out there that might survive, you know. Anyway, I hope more people agree with me. There is no reason on this planet why somebody would need dual citizenship. None. It's a very big deal. Like I said, and I know there's public officials with dual citizenship. Make up your mind where your allegiance lie and stick with that. Because if you have wishy-washy ideas on who you serve, you're not serving the people of the United States. You're serving yourself. And we don't want you. You think that's appropriate? What if I wasn't even a citizen of the United States and I was on here telling you what to do with your country? It's the same difference. That type of feeling. If they don't know who they serve, they're not serving us. So if we abolish the dual citizenship, they have to make a decision where they want to live and where they want to be. And it's a very big deal. Like I said, somebody make a video. I can look it up. Why don't you? This is my topic. Play off of it. Is Trump a dual citizen? How about Harris? How about Maxine Waters? Who are these people really? I want to know. Don't you? I might make it a topic someday, but maybe somebody will play off of that. You know, it's like here's another topic I was going to bring up, and people will argue until the cows come home or whatever. Um, Walking barefoot and acquiring parasites out of the ground, and people are like, "Oh, ground yourself," and you can ground yourself without even taking off your shoes, get a grip. You know, barefoot feels nice, yeah, but you better be careful. Look up parasites in the ground, and the soles of your feet are the most susceptible to, I mean, like if you're going to cleanse your body, a lot of that comes out of your feet, those pores. It's a two-way thing. And when I hear people like, "Oh, take your shoes off and ground yourself," I'm like, might depend on where you live. You better look at the soil. You better check into what you're telling other people. You know, sounds cool. It sounds new wave, but I'm telling you. Well, oh, here's one. Why did Christ have sandals if grounding yourself was the best thing in the world? Just answer that for the religious minded. Just some thoughts, you know. I have a copper wire that Doug made me that goes into our artesian well. Um, that is grounded. I can ground myself with that wire that I have a bracelet connected to, and um, I can either put it on me or just grab it if I'm feeling a little out of sorts or whatever. I don't know if it really helped or not. I'm not sure. He swears it does. He has one in his room that's I have a French arborvitae by the house, tree that he's got his grounded to, and he swears that like if he puts his foot on it, he's got neuropathy, that helps his neuropathy, and his feet have gotten better, but it may not be because of that. Who knows? But he swears it works. He talks about grounding too, but I've only seen him walk barefoot on the ground maybe once in like over 35 years. So, yeah, and I'm talking this carries the entity of Satan. This is not a stupid man I'm talking about, you know. So if he doesn't do it, but tells people that they should, mm, well, what's your conclusion? You know, yeah. Well, I wanted to make that very clear about the dual citizenship. There's no reason for it, and I'm not going to shut up about the dark cabal and their Talmudic ways and their implementation of the Noahide laws. I know I just said that wrong, but you get what I'm saying. Um, I'm not going to try it again. That's enough. But I'm sure you get where I'm coming from with that. You know, they're implementing those laws little by little, where it will be legal to do things that you aren't going to want to participate in because they say you're subhuman. This isn't just the Palestinians, it's everybody on the planet except for them. Yeah, I got a beef with it, and I'm not going to be quiet about it either. I might make another channel called a Pedo Hunter. Maybe. I do have another channel. I might change the name. I'm not talking about physically hunting them down, but I did with the Dark Cabal. I always do. I always confront that. I always have. So, well, I'm going to get this uploaded. I hope you share this information. I hope you take it serious. I know I don't get a lot of views, but hopefully somebody will see the importance of this before it's too late, because it's getting there. So, okay, everybody, have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.